Here's John Gibbons' lineup for tonight's game. Jose Batista, 3-hole. Ryan Goins, the power-hitting Ryan Goins, 6th spot. Darwin Barney starts at 3rd. Chris Coughlin will play 2nd base. And the recently called up Mike Ullman, battery mates with Mike Bolsinger.
We are now joined by John Gibbons, manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, ahead of Game 2 of the Cleveland series tonight. How you doing, John?
A little bit better. Yeah. I wasn't doing too well there for a while, but we've been playing some better baseball.
So does that mean as you get a little...
Would that be a genie with gum on your head?
I think there's a bubble on the head.
Yeah, there's
a genie, walked by, left a bubble on your head. You want to take care of it?
Oh, he just did that?
Yeah.
Right now, literally, we're looking
at on top of your head. There's a bubble.
On top of your head right now.
If you want to try to help you out, you can leave it there for the whole interview.
It's your call here.
And we're not playing. It's there.
And we're going to take him out of the rotation.
You can't do that. No one else is healthy.
Let me ask you this: are we going to hear you on the Blue Jays talk if you've now won 3 or 4? Do we get to hear you with Willner again?
No, that'll never happen again. Let me explain what happened there. That day, I didn't have Russell in the lineup, so I was talking to Willner on his show before the game, and he was adamant, like, how can you not be playing this guy? And I told him, I said, first, it's none of your business. Second, that's a manager's prerogative. You can do whatever you want, regardless of what other people think. So after the game, we had a win that night, and I made the comment, I'm sure glad I caught Maley that night, because he did a hell of a job, And then I thought Willner was in the room, but somebody said he was up there doing his talk show, and a rash came on and said, well, I can get him on the phone here. And I said, yeah, go ahead. So that's how all that developed.
I love that you burst Wilner's bubble. That's what you did.
Yeah. It's not hard to do now.
We love Mike. We love Mike. He does a great job.
Yeah, he does.
All right. I mean, the injuries are what they are, John, obviously. And we just looked at the lineup tonight. Obviously, it wasn't your opening day choice for a lot of reasons. But you've kind of found it here in the last little bit. What, if you had to put your finger on what's working, how would you describe it?
Well, you know what? Early on, one thing you can say about the whole season, damn near every night we're in the game. And I think early on, a big pitch to, get a key out or, just that one big hit could have swung the game, the other direction. We could have come out on top. And I think we're starting to get a little bit of that now. We've been, our starters have been solid, and I think our bullpen's starting to, take shape. And they've been pitching very well late in games. And then, of course, we've been getting some big hits along the way. Like Barney, the big home run down there in Tampa. When we really weren't doing anything all game. And so little things like that. Sometimes it doesn't take much, but because one thing I got to, as tough a year as it's been to this point, we seem to make a run every night. Even we can be down a few runs, and we seem to make a run, but we haven't been able to get that big key hit, maybe to take the lead or pad the lead but that's most teams can probably say a lot of that, but I think it's. You do have to have a little luck in this business, too. There's no question about that. And I think we're starting to get a little bit of that as well.
Whispers that Aaron Sanchez is getting close. Whispers of Troy Tulowitzki. John, what can you tell us on both of those guys?
Hey, somebody was just flashing me something. Can you repeat that question?
Oh, Troy Tulowitzki, Aaron Sanchez, injury update.
Okay. Yeah, Sanchez, he threw down the floor today. He threw about 60 pitches, felt great. No pain in his finger at all. So, I think the plan is he'll probably come back and start Sunday here at home. Tulo, he's doing all his his drills, his ground balls, and he's starting to increase his range. He's taking his batting practice. I think the tentative plan is he may go out on a rehab assignment, the end of the week over the weekend, and but he's definitely closer to returning than Donaldson is. So, but I can't pinpoint a date yet, but he's making progress.
John, listen, faith was shook outside the clubhouse, and it happens in sports with, some fan bases, some members of the media even, dare I say. Has your faith been shooken at all in this moment?
Is my what?
Your faith in this team and seeing some light at the end of this tunnel?
No, and it's like what I mentioned earlier. I know I know what these guys have inside of them, but I also know how the game works. That you can't you dig too big a hole, it gets awfully tough. We got some hot teams in our division, some really good teams. But But you know, you got to eliminate all those those doubts if you have any. And you just got to say, hey, go out and win today. Then then you go after and try to win tomorrow. I mean, it's really you have to keep it that simple.
Right.
And because I mean, we were due to play better baseball. I mean, there's no question about that, and you knew it was going to happen. But now, I mean, now we need to play some good, steady baseball from here on out, really.